buffalo brisket today. I thought your tenderness was just about perfect. How were you able to pull that off? We knew it was a lean piece of meat. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Creativity and Inspiration. I'm Lisa. If you're new here, welcome. We are so happy you found us. Today's video is a great one. I just want to start off by saying I hope you're all having an amazing day. And it's kind of stormy, so hopefully the power doesn't go out while I'm doing this. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here in the dark. Anyway, let's get into this video. It is a good one. We are talking all about creating stamps out of things you wouldn't normally create stamps out of, that you don't have to go out and buy, that you have in your own home. These will save you money, time, and instead of using ink, we're going to use acrylic paint or watercolor paint because it will wash off and because it will stamp on any surface. Okay, say you want to stamp on a glassine bag. You have to stamp it and let it dry, right? Because it'll just wipe off. And sometimes stamping the ink just wipes off anyway. If you use acrylic paint, it's going to stay on there. And it's going to be permanent once it dries. Of course, before it dries, yes, you could wipe it off. You could smudge it. But it won't wipe off once it's dry. So I recommend acrylic paint or watercolor paint and just letting it dry. If you want to use stamp inks, of course, you're more than welcome. We are all different and we all have different preferences. But let's get into what can we use as stamps that will save you money because you won't have to go buy them. Stamps are crazy expensive. And I'm going to give you a few tricks if you're looking for something special, some ways to create the image you might want. Anyway, come in a little bit closer and we'll get started. Okay guys, I have a lot of stuff on my desk. First and foremost, we all know this one, but it is definitely worth repeating. The beloved bubble wrap. Paint works really good on this. You paint it on, you stamp it on your paper. It comes out amazing. It can just be texture or design on a piece of paper. You could draw little stems and leaves and petals and make that the center of a flower, whatever you want. So bubble wrap is a stamper's best friend. I love bubble wrap. Something else you can use, but you have to be careful how you do it, is lace. We all have lace, and there's a lot of different, but look at the pattern on this one. Isn't that beautiful? It's a beautiful purple lace, and it has roses on it. What you could do is put that on a piece of paper and stamp it, but you have to pound it. You can't swipe it with a paintbrush. You have to pound it. But that'll work good. And that's something you can't do with a ink either. Or at least I've never been able to. Of course, the paper towel holder does a good circle on the end. We all know that one. Thread. If you have spools, different sizes, they're good for stamping too. And remember, if you use acrylic paint or watercolor paint, they wash off. They wipe off. Have a wipey. Wipe them off. That easy. No harm, no foul. The bottom of slipper socks. There are some cool patterns on the bottom of these raised slipper socks. Put you some paint, push it down, and it's going to make a really cool pattern. Something else are these wooden beads we all have all over our house. Put some paint on one side, lay them down on your paper, press them down, and boom, you've got a, you have a chain of connected circles or dots. If you wanted a square, if you have eyeshadow, a square or rectangle, if you have eyeshadow, get your eyeshadow and stamp it on. If you want some type of lines, use a fork. Just stamp it on and paint in between the tines. Okay, or just paint the bottom of the fork and stamp it on. It makes great lines. Now this one's a little odd, and why do I still have a Christmas ornament out? Mostly because I missed it when I put everything away. I promise all my Christmas stuff is away. But the little hooves would look really cute going up a page. So if you can find a toy, a dinosaur, anything with little feet you could make, especially for the spring journals. And guys, I have a great video coming Saturday or Sunday about making our spring journals extra. Like something, things you haven't seen before, extra, okay? And, you know, making little feet in these journals would look amazing. So any animal, toy, whatever, any toy from, like the Dollar Tree, if they have dinosaurs or whatever, make little feet going up a page. Really cute, different. I just happen to have Christmas ornament. Don't judge. Okay. The bottom of markers, or the lids of markers, this one, as you can see, is very unique. And if you take it and twist it around in the same space, you're going to have a really cool flower or star. So I would definitely recommend looking at the bottom or tops of your markers, paint pens, whatever you have. Another cool one is the bottom of shoes. Now this one is not so cool, but it's a flip-flop and it's got lines on it, and that would be cool looking. None of my shoes are, well, this shoe's kind of worn out, but it did have some triangles at one time, which would have been cool as well. So look at the bottom of your shoes. It's, you know, easy. Do it, wipe it off, and they're good to go. Or keep them as stamps. What else can be used as stamps besides what I've already told you? Well, basically anything you can think of. If you have fake plants, break off some leaves, use that as a stamp. If you have some of these little, what do you call these, baby clothespins, you know, you could stamp on the edge, on the ends. If you have blank doorknobs, door handles, you could always use those. If you have fake flowers, you could always pull those off and use those. If you have pens with a cool shape, like I would cover this and protect it, but the shape is really cool, I could use that as a stamp. You can use anything. You can use anything you own as a stamp. Now, also, don't forget about negative stamps. And if you don't know what negative stamps are, it's where you put a stamp down that you recognize the shape. And I'm just using these as an example, like the coffee pot or the coffee cup or the circle or whatever. And you paint over it, and then you pull the sticker up, but the shape is still there. That's a negative stamp. You could also use those. And I have a ton of stickers that I could use as negative stamps. If you have wood shapes, any type of wood shapes with interesting patterns on them, use those. Just to give you another example, the end of this thimble could be a stamp. So guys, when you're in your journals and you want to create something of interest on the page and you're tired of doing the same old thing, okay? Look around you. What can you use as a stamp? And especially look at the bottom of your shoes, of your slipper socks, because I'm like major serious how cool some of these patterns are. Look around and don't see it for what its purpose is, but hey, could I use that as a stamp, either with ink or water-based paints? And remember, acrylics and watercolors are both water-based. They're cousins, okay? So if you used acrylic paint, it's not going to be permanent as long as the surface is hard and can be washed. If it's a fibrous surface like lace or, you know, a shirt or something, it's going to be permanent. And probably the shoes too, because they're rubber and they are porous. But if it's hard, like scissors and that's up to you. If you don't want to use paint, you don't have to. Definitely use your stamp, your inks. You're only limited by your imagination. Look around your home. There are 1,001 stamps and stencils right there waiting to be used. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. The video coming Saturday or Sunday is very long, and it is how to boost our spring journals from things we've done multiple times over the past 1 to 10 years, however long everybody's been doing this. I've got some ways that are going to take your spring journal from that every year spring journal to, oh wow, that is an amazing spring journal. I promise you. So come back on Saturday or Sunday. But before you do, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with that little bell, because you don't want to miss out on all the upcoming videos. I am getting back in the swing. I do hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun to do because I got to go scavenger hunt through my house to find things that I thought could be used as a stencil or a stamp. What did you find that was kind of out of the box, unexpected, that you didn't think of using until you watched this video? Leave me a comment down below. Bye.